Good afternoon, everyone. Today is March 20th, 2021. It is right about 4:45 p.m. I'm just noticing the flags are down at the fire station. The flags are lower than half staff, so okay, but I'm hearing some Slim Shady inside the fire station, from inside the fire station, so maybe it just means maybe it just means they're off duty today. You can see it's pretty wet here. So yesterday I showed you guys that the weather cleared up. Yesterday I showed you guys the weather cleared up, the water cleared up. How's it? And I was ready to go out and go for a swim, but I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have any trunks because it'd been raining. And sure enough, I go home, I get all my stuff, and I bring it today. And of course, today it's raining. It was raining all day. There's just a little gap. There's just a little gap right now in the evening where it's kind of sunny. I mean, sorry, not where it's kind of sunny, where it's just not raining. And so I actually am gonna take you guys with me to head over to the shore and try to get in the water. It's about 69 degrees, maybe 70. I think 69 degrees. I think most people, I think I might be maybe a little bit more hardcore in terms of the water and swimming and whatnot than a lot of people. I think most people prefer to go when it's sunny and whatnot, but there's definitely a solid part of the population that here on the island that is hardcore, that goes swimming, goes in the water, rain or shine, every day. Wetsuit, no wetsuit, day, evening, morning, evening, noon. And I think I'm going to end up being one of those people. I think I'm going to end up being one of those people. I think probably like most people, I did not grow up with a swimming pool on my property or anything like that. So going swimming in any manner, whether it was at a pool or going to the beach, was always usually usually a bit of an event. Like getting your things together, going to a family friend's house, or getting your things together and driving out an hour and a half to wherever the nearest beach was on the East Coast. So I definitely don't think that I swam as much as I would have liked to growing up, and so that's definitely something I look forward to out here, more or less rain or shine. Normally I'd take you guys over this way, but wow, it looks like there's some big waves. Some big waves over yonder. Whoa, like actually maybe really big waves. Maybe a little bit bigger than normal. Before coming here, I never really think that deeply about surf, because for the most part I was always swimming in pools or bodies of water that didn't really have heavy surf, like lakes, for example. There are a lot of lakes in upstate New York that you can that are sort of converted into beaches, and they have no waves whatsoever. But coming out here and experiencing at least a handful of times what it feels like to swim a little bit too far out, or a little bit farther out than you're comfortable swimming, and then to have waves or a current come and pull you even farther out against your will, it's a little bit unnerving. And so when I say that those waves are big, obviously they're not 60-foot waves that you go surfing on, but in terms of the amount of pull that they could have over a single person, I recognize them just based on their size as being strong waves. With waves of a certain size, so far the only way that I've learned that you can fight against them and still swim straight through things like rip currents rather, is if you are wearing flippers. Flippers actually enhance the strength of your kicks in the water by many times. So many times more so, in fact, that I have one time had a person wearing flippers pull me into shore through rip currents, just sort of pulling, just sort of having me hold on to a wakeboard that he just pulled along beside him off of the drawstring that was attached to it. So let me just see. I don't see any surfers today. Oh, did I speak too soon? Okay, there's surfers. Unlike yesterday, you can see the water's brown. The water's brown today. It's really not. It's not terribly clear or pleasant. I'm still gonna head out. I'm still gonna head out this way, just because I haven't gone swimming in a long time. But that's usually how the water is when it rains. So, even though it's the evening, I should be able to still get in at least a solid hour or hour and a half of swimming in. It's Saturday. It's more or less the same traffic every day. It's very hard to discern. Wow, these same waves that these surfers are riding. They go all the way back. They go all the way. All the way back. I'm slightly more attentive to now. Now that I have a better idea about, well, after the earthquake in New Zealand, I'm a little bit more attentive to events in the Pacific. So after the recent earthquake in Japan, I think that was probably within the past 24 hours. I at least will check in. At least we'll check in. We'll check in online to see whether there's actual warnings and whatnot. Wow, all this debris. I'm just still amazed at how huge it is. Like, where did this get swept in from, you know? There's someone actually cleaning the beach. I mentioned this in a previous video. That it's definitely seen as respectful to not just pass through. But to try to keep things, try to take an active role in keeping things beautiful. So yeah, right now we have a little window. It's almost 5 o'clock, and it's supposed to be clear in terms of rain until around 8 o'clock. Other than that, rain is still forecast every day for the next 10 days. So, in my opinion, you kind of gotta just choose what you feel like doing and just go for it, rain or shine. Otherwise, you might be waiting a few weeks for perfect weather. And I promise you guys, you know, it'll probably take a couple months, but I promise you guys that I'll get footage of other places as often as I can. And we'll see who's actually on the island today. Usually the locals don't go to this particular beach when it's raining. Actually, it looks like everyone's out. Usually Saturdays there's skateboarders hanging out right around here. But it maybe only just stopped raining within the past maybe 30 or 40 minutes. All these canoe clubs. What is the Keaukaha Canoe Club? Then we've got, I'm going to assume this is another canoe club. It says Mo'opuna Okolani. If that happens to be a canoe club, then let's see.